today on Reddit. What scam did you fall for? While in high school, I was walking through a park and a woman was walking my way. As soon as we passed each other, she says, "You dropped something." I turn around and she's holding a gold necklace. I told her it's not mine. She says it's not hers, but agrees that we both found it and I can give her $50 to keep it. I think to myself that it's worth a lot more, so I give her $50 just to get home and get scolded by my dad for falling for stuff like this. Turns out it's a well-known scam and I paid $50 for a cheap metal necklace. Getting money on your birthday and your parents saying they'll save it. Those parents don't end up in good retirement homes. Oh my god. That just hit me. Ouch. Same. Found out there was no money when I took my savings account passbook and my first paycheck from my first teenage job to the bank, only to discover the money was gone and there was no more bank account. Sold something in Craigslist, met guy in person, did transaction through PayPal. Completely forgot PayPal doesn't protect in-person transactions. Sure enough, couple days later got a PayPal dispute and got $200 taken from me by PayPal. A BBB complaint resolved the whole thing for me luckily. I didn't know that PayPal doesn't protect in-person transactions. Good to know. It's because you will have no way of proving the item exchanged hands. They also don't cover you as a seller unless the item was sent tracked. Sadly, some sellers do scam buyers by sending something with tracked postage but not to the seller. The tracking number means PayPal is more likely to side with the seller. People will say when sending money to choose friends and family as there is no fee, but there is also no protection. That you have to go to college to be successful. Oof, 3 years in, I'm in too deep to quit, but this is true and hurts. Went to Best Buy to buy some speakers. Shady dudes in the parking lot were selling speakers. My friend whispers to me, "Those speakers are totally stolen, dude." In my immorality, I'm thinking, well, they're not going to get any more stolen than they already are. Let's see what we got here. They have a ragged catalog page that shows these speakers costing thousands of dollars, but the shady dudes are only charging me hundreds. Sold. I take the speakers home, and they don't sound so good. I Google the speakers brand. Turns out, these are the cheapest speakers money can buy. Turns out, pretending these are stolen speakers is the whole business model of this particular speakers brand. Turns out, this company would actually equip shady-looking guys with the fake catalog pages and trick immoral fools in parking lots as their regular course of business. I couldn't even be mad. They got me, and I had deserved to get got. My college roommate and I fell victim to that magazine scam where people go door to door saying they're selling magazine subscriptions to help raise money for homeless children with AIDS or something. They play on your sympathies and get you to write them a check. Spoiler alert, you never get any magazines nor help any children. I was uneasy about it at the time, but I'm uneasy around people in general, so I thought I was just being paranoid. Years later, we found out this was a common scamming technique. Big light bulb moment for me there. A man from the gas company said that they were inserting new electricity and gas meters in all the apartments in my block. When I opened the door, he walked straight in but showed me his ID, so seemed legit. My shower had been interrupted, so I was in a bad mood and very keen to get rid of the guy. He said he just needed to phone his company for proof from me that he had visited as he was new to the job. It turns out that me confirming this on the phone was a voice signature binding me into a new 2-year contract with this service provider, who then wanted to increase the price of my gas and electricity by 100%. After he left, I felt uneasy and searched the company, and then phoned Citizens Advice for help. Turns out they targeted my place because they searched where the students were living as they are more vulnerable. I'm sorry this happened to you, but with the strange man in your apartment and the interrupted shower, I was worried it was going to be a much worse story. I thought this as it was happening. I don't answer the door anymore without looking through the peephole. When I was 11, I signed up at genealogy.de, a page that, supposedly, helps with finding out more about your heritage. I read through the entire AGBs, not kidding, and there was no indication that it had cost anything. A week later I get an email saying I have to pay $60 by May 21st of that year. I'm telling you this because what that thing led to was the actual fun part. Since I was only 11, I was scared and decided not to tell my parents. I even did some research on how I, as a kid, could get the money to those people. I was so scared, I scribbled the words "it will all be over on May 21st" on my desk at school. Which led to me being taken aside by a teacher asking me whether I wanted to kill myself. I explained the situation to her. She told me to talk to my parents and it all ended well. We didn't pay a penny. My father wrote them what pathetic people would try to scam a child, email, and the thing was settled. That's such an ominous sentence for a child to write. Glad the teacher thought so too. Honestly, that's horror movie type thing. Story time. I fell for an eBay scam when I was trying to sell a computer. Put an ad on eBay and got a message from a legitimate account that I'd later find out was hacked. They offered $500 plus shipping, $520 total, and wanted to pay via PayPal. But then asked for an email different from the one my PayPal account was set up with. First red flag. From there, the conversation no longer took place through eBay. Being unfamiliar with PayPal, I assumed that payment verification 16 at some gibberish name ending in CR was just PayPal outsourcing their work, and they began emailing me saying that funds had been transferred to them by the buyer, but they wanted me to send them a scanned receipt saying that the computer was shipped before they transferred the funds to me. Meanwhile, I'm talking with fake buyer via email about all this. Stupid, trusting me had shipped the computer to something that looked like an apartment complex in Oregon. A few days later, however, I got an email from fake PayPal saying I needed to upgrade my account to a business account by requesting $480 more from the buyer to bring transactions under my account up to $1,000, and the buyer would refund me the $480 once the computer was received. But I was supposed to transfer the money to someone in Nigeria via Western Union saying it was house rent, and it was when I was getting ready to leave my house to go do that when it all clicked, and I yelled to no one in particular, "It's a scam." So, I called real PayPal and discussed everything that had taken place. After that, I got in touch with the police in the city in Oregon the computer had shipped to, and my local police. I googled the address in Oregon to find that it was some weird shipping center that would receive people's mail and packages, and then forward it all to them. So, if you're a scammer in Nigeria, you can make it look like you have a US address. I was able to call the shipping center and explain what happened, and by divine providence, the computer hadn't yet been sent to Nigeria. Though I had to pay shipping, the shipping center sent the computer back to me. So in the end, I was out a few dollars for mailing the computer back and forth, but no actual money or personal information, except my email addresses, had been transferred. Lessons learned: follow eBay's policies, don't be blinded by excitement over selling something, and look out for emails with bad formatting, improper grammar, and that come from odd email addresses. First time in New York. I had to recharge my subway card, and was standing behind a guy on the Metro card machine. A guy walks to me, dressed in MTA uniform, and tells me that I don't have to wait. He asks me how much did I want to put on the card, and says he's got one ready for that. Swipes a card on the scanner, I go in, he gives me the card and asks me for the money. That was when I realized it was a scam, but I feared he would get violent or anything, so I didn't say nothing, gave him the money and he gave me a card. Needless to say, it was empty. I got one of those fake get verified for Twitter ads. I have no idea why I wasn't thinking straight. Obviously Twitter would never ask you for a credit card to verify your identity. Got multiple life charges from San Francisco a few days later. Thanks to my bank for having